Hello? Cause I thought about saying something, Z. Z, do you love us? Can you come get us? Cause we wanna ride around the town with you. Cause we miss you and we love you, Z. To your daddy. Say, Z, do you love us? Can we ride with you around the city? Cause we love you and we miss you and we want you.
4 a.m. Fleetwood Drive, South Jackson, Mississippi. Tuesday night, bleeding into Wednesday morning. The kind of hour where the whole street is asleep, every porch light is off, and every door on the block is locked. And then a carport door gets kicked in. Someone is moving through a house that doesn't belong to him, past the living room, down the hallway. He is not lost. He is not confused. He knows exactly which room he is walking toward, and he knows exactly who is inside it, who was in that bedroom, and who had the courage to fight back. Before we get into it, leave a like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to The Dark Minds so you never miss the next case.
Oh, yeah, 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 fuck it up,
Terrencia Lamondria Jackson, born on the 12th of May, 1996, right there in Jackson, Mississippi. She was 26 years old when she died. 26. A young woman at the beginning of everything, not the end. Jackson was not just the city where Terrencia happened to live. It was the city that made her. She was born here. She was raised here. She went to school here. She built her adult life here. Her family was here. Her church was here. Her whole world existed within the boundaries of this city, and she never felt the need to leave it, because everything she loved was already right in front of her. She came from a large family. Her parents were Antoinette Jackson and Terrence Womack, and Terrencia was the second of 8 children. 4 sisters, 3 brothers, all of them in Jackson. 8 children under one family name, one city, one community. Growing up the second oldest in a house that size means you learn things early. You learn how to read a room. You learn how to look after the people around you. You learn that family is not just a word, it is a responsibility. And Terrencia carried that understanding her entire life. Her stepfather was McDuffie. And if you want to understand the kind of energy Terrencia brought into every space she entered, the family's memory of her relationship with McDuffie tells you everything you need to know. She loved pranking him. Not meanly, not cruelly, but with the kind of playfulness that only someone who is genuinely comfortable, genuinely happy, and genuinely full of life would bring to an ordinary afternoon at home. She was the one who found the joke. She was the one who created the moment. She was the one who made McDuffie shake his head and laugh at the same time, because that was just what Terrencia did. She made people feel something just by being in the room with them.
I'm gonna take it off. Get back, you. You could have.
Faith was not a casual thing for Terrencia Jackson. It was not something she picked up on holidays and put down the rest of the year. She was a faithful member of Jehovah Jireh Church in Jackson, and she remained a faithful member until the day she died.
Amen. Grab your Bibles quickly. Amen. We're going to turn to 1 Samuel chapter number 30.
In a city where life moves fast and the pressures are real, and it would be easy to let the things that ground you slowly fall away, Terrencia held on. She kept showing up. Her faith was not just a practice. It was part of her identity. part of what kept her rooted in Jackson, part of what gave her the stability to build the kind of life she was building on Fleetwood Drive. She graduated from Provine High School in Jackson. After graduation, she went to work. She became a dedicated employee at UPS. Every day, showing up, clocking in, doing the work that needed to be done. Not glamorous, not the kind of thing that gets celebrated loudly, but exactly the kind of thing that tells you who a person really is when nobody is watching. Terrencia was not someone who waited for things to come to her. She went and got them. She loved her family deeply. She loved shopping. She loved taking trips, packing a bag and going somewhere, seeing something new, experiencing the world outside of her everyday routine.
You want me? I do it, bitch. I got it. Oh, that's more than a boat.
She had a best friend the family described as a sister Vinchata Bryant, someone who knew her the way only a lifelong close friend can know you. She had people around her who genuinely loved her, a community that felt her presence. But all of that, the church, the job, the trips, the laughter, the pranks on McDuffie, the 7 siblings, all of it existed in orbit around one person. Her daughter, Terrencia Jackson, say that name, Zerencia, a little girl who had her mother's last name, and if you know anything about the way these things work in families that close, probably had her mother's laugh, her mother's energy, her mother's way of walking into a room and making it feel different than it did before she got there.
Back in, B. Let's go back in, B.
What is it come out? What is it on me? What I see? What I see? What I get like that? Hey! What I get like that?
Let's go. Ha! Turn. Ha!
Zerencia was not just Terrencia's child. She was the center of Terrencia's entire world. She was the reason Terrencia woke up in the morning, the reason she went to UPS every day and put in her hours, the reason she kept her faith at Jehovah Jireh, the reason she built a home on Fleetwood Drive and made it stable and made it safe. Everything Terrencia was constructing in Jackson, Mississippi, every routine, every decision, every ordinary Tuesday that turned into a memory, she was building it for that little girl. People who knew Terrencia Jackson said the same thing in different ways. She brought something into every room she walked into. You felt her when she arrived. Not because she was loud or demanding or performing for anyone, but because there was something genuinely alive about her, something warm, something that made you feel seen just by the way she talked to you. The kind of person whose absence creates a specific silence that no one else can fill. 2 grandmothers, Kathy Cutts and Joyce Womack, knew her. Aunts and uncles and cousins who filled out the wide branches of a Jackson family that had been rooted in this city for generations. That is who Terrencia Lamondria Jackson was before the 7th of June, 2022. A daughter, a sister to 7, a stepdaughter who made McDuffie laugh, a faithful member of Jehovah Jireh Church, a Provine High School graduate, a UPS employee who never missed a day, a woman who loved to travel and loved her family and loved her life in the city that made her, and a mother. Above everything else, she was a mother to Zerencia Jackson, a little girl who deserved to grow up with her mother in the room. So what was it about Terrencia's past that followed her home to Fleetwood Drive at 4 inches the morning? What did she leave behind that refused to stay gone? And who could not accept that she had moved on? His name is Zverian Brent. Born in 1992 in Jackson, Mississippi, he was 29 years old on the night he drove to Fleetwood Drive. Same city as Terrencia, same streets, same neighborhoods. He knew this place the way she knew it from the inside. At some point, Zverian Brent and Terrencia Jackson were in a relationship. He was her boyfriend. We don't know exactly when it started or what it looked like at its best, but we know how it ended. She left.
In my other hand.
Terrencia made a decision. She decided that whatever she and Zverian Brent had between them, it was over. She moved forward. She moved on. She built a life on Fleetwood Drive that no longer had him in it. She had Henry Perry beside her. She had Zerencia to raise. She had UPS and Jehovah Jireh and her family and everything she needed. For any reasonable person, that is the end of the story. Two people, a relationship that didn't work, a clean separation, life continues. Zverian Brent was not reasonable about it. But before we get to what he did, you need to understand what the public record already had on this man before the 7th of June, 2022. Because this was not a case of a clean record individual who made one catastrophic decision on one terrible night. The courts had Zverian Brent twice before Terrencia ever died, and twice the system let him go. 2015. Brent is indicted on felony charges: possession of marijuana, possession of hydrocodone, and at the time of his arrest he is carrying a .38 caliber handgun, illegal, undeclared, in the hands of a man already facing felony drug charges. That case entered the Hinds County court system and moved slowly through it the way these things do. Continuances, delays, paperwork, years passing. In July 2021, 6 full years after that indictment, Hinds County Circuit Judge Winston Kidd dismissed the case. Not because the evidence vanished, not because the state failed to prosecute. The case was dismissed at the request of Brent's own probation officer, the person whose job was to monitor him, to assess whether he was living responsibly enough to remain in the community. That person went to the judge and said, "Let it go," and the judge agreed. The felony, the drugs, the illegal .38 caliber handgun, gone. 2017. 2 years after the first indictment, he is back. Felony possession of marijuana again, and this time a .40 caliber Glock. Different weapon, same pattern. That case was remanded to his file in August 2019. It did not result in a conviction. It did not put Brent behind bars. It went into a file and closed. 2 felony indictments, 2 illegal firearms. Both cases gone before June 2022. Now, here is the timeline that needs to land. The 2015 case was dismissed in July 2021. Terrencia Jackson was murdered in June 2022. That is 10 months between the court clearing his record and Brent arriving at her door with a weapon. 10 months. The question that raises is not comfortable, but it is necessary. If that case had not been dismissed, if Zverian Brent had been sitting in a cell in July 2021 instead of walking free, would Terrencia Jackson still be alive? There is no clean answer to that. But the question doesn't disappear just because the answer is painful.
Can I put my balls in your jaw? Balls in your jaw. Can I? Put my balls in your jaw?
Then there is Vida Valentine. Brent did not go to Fleetwood Drive alone in terms of his support system. The day after Terrencia was killed, Wednesday, the 8th of June, 2022 at noon, a person named Vida Valentine was arrested and charged with accessory after the fact. Less than 24 hours after the murder, someone connected to Brent was already in custody. But that is almost everything the public record gives us on Valentine. Their gender unknown, their age unknown, their specific relationship to Brent unknown. Whether they were inside that house on Fleetwood Drive or waiting somewhere outside unknown. What they did to assist Brent before, during, or after the murder, unconfirmed in any public document. And their outcome in the legal system? No trial, no sentencing, no public statement from the DA's office. The case against Vida Valentine disappeared from public record almost as quickly as the arrest was announced. Someone helped Zverian Brent, and to this day, we don't know what the law did about it. Tuesday, the 7th of June, 2022, 3100 block of Fleetwood Drive, South Jackson, Mississippi. Terrencia is home. It is late the deep hours of the night, moving toward early morning. Beside her in the rear bedroom is Henry Perry, 31 years old, her boyfriend. A man who had no reason to believe that night would be any different from any other. Somewhere in that house, Terrencia Jackson is asleep, a child in her mother's home, safe the way a child is supposed to be safe in their own house in the middle of the night. Zverian Brent arrives at the 3100 block of Fleetwood Drive. He forces his way through the carport door, kicks it in, moves through the house through the dark directly to the rear bedroom. He is not exploring. He is not hesitating. He walks through that house like a man who came here with one specific purpose and has already committed to it. He finds Terrencia and Henry Perry in bed. What follows, according to court records, is a brief argument. Whatever was said in that room in those final moments, it was not enough to stop what was coming. Zverian Brent opens fire. Terrencia Jackson is shot multiple times. She dies at the scene, on Fleetwood Drive, in her own home, in the bedroom where she was supposed to be safe. She is 26 years old. Her daughter Zerencia is somewhere in that house while her mother takes her last breath. Henry Perry is also shot multiple times, but Perry does not go down quietly. In the chaos of that room, wounded, bleeding, fighting for his life, Perry fires back. He hits Brent an unknown number of times. Brent, now carrying his own wounds, leaves the scene. Perry, critically injured, is rushed to Merritt Health Hospital. At approximately 4 a.m., JPD Officer Sam Brown arrives at the 3100 block of Fleetwood Drive. What he finds there confirms the worst. Terrencia Jackson is dead at the scene. This was Jackson's 63rd homicide of 2022. Earlier that same night on Revere Drive, another man had been found shot inside a burnt vehicle. That was the 62nd. 2 murders. One night. One city already hemorrhaging lives. But it is Terrencia's death. A 26-year-old mother, shot in her own bed, in her own home, that sends investigators moving with urgency. Because the man responsible for this did not vanish into thin air. He left a trail, and the trail led straight back to him. JPD Deputy Chief Derek Hearn takes over public communication on the case.
Jackson police are investigating after a woman was shot multiple times while lying in bed at a home on Fleetwood Drive this morning. The victim has been identified as 26-year-old Terrencia Jackson. Police, they confirm another person believed to be Jackson's new boyfriend was also shot while lying in bed. He was taken to the hospital. There's no word on his condition.
The investigation moves fast. Zverian Brent is identified almost immediately. He was her ex-boyfriend. His name was known, his prior cases were on file, and Henry Perry survived to tell investigators exactly what happened in that rear bedroom on Fleetwood Drive. Wednesday, the 8th of June, 2022, noon. Vida Valentine is arrested, charged with accessory after the fact. Less than 24 hours after Terrencia's death, someone in Brent's orbit is already in custody. But as stated, what happened to Valentine's case after that arrest has never been confirmed publicly. Meanwhile, Brent himself is still out there, wounded from Perry's return fire, moving through Jackson, while a family is trying to comprehend what just happened. Thursday, the 9th of June 2022, U.S. Marshals locate Zverian Brent and take him into custody in Jackson, Mississippi. But he doesn't go to a cell immediately. He goes to the University of Mississippi Medical Center because Henry Perry shot him. Let that land. The man who came to Fleetwood Drive to take a life is being treated in a hospital bed while Terrencia Jackson's family is planning her funeral. While Zerencia is growing up in the first hours of a world without her mother. Once medically cleared, Brent is transferred to the Jackson Police Department holding facility and then to the Raymond Detention Center in Hinds County, where he will wait for the wheels of the legal system to turn.
We begin with the 12 News Update. Zverian Brent, a man wanted in connection to the shooting death of Terrencia Jackson, is now behind bars. He was arrested by U.S. Marshals earlier this afternoon. Jackson was shot and killed while lying in her bed on Fleetwood Drive Tuesday. Another man was also shot and was taken to the hospital.
Deputy Chief Hearn confirms publicly what the courts already knew: the 2015 indictment, the 2017 indictment, the 2 dismissed firearms charges. The record that should have kept this man away from Terrencia Jackson was already there. It had always been there. The system had him, and it let him go. And now a 6-year-old mother is gone. The 9th of June, 2022, Brent is in custody. The 7th of June, 2022, Terrencia is gone. Between those 2 dates, life goes on for everyone else and stands completely still for the people who loved her. Zerencia Jackson grows up without her mother. Auntie Annette Jackson and Terrence Womack grieve a child no parent should ever have to grieve. 7 siblings carry the weight of that empty space every single day. Terrencia was cremated. Her services were held at Jackson Memorial Funeral Service in Jackson, Mississippi. Her family said goodbye before Zverian Brent had stood trial even once. Henry Perry, the man who survived, who fought back, who put shots in the man who came to kill them, both carries the memory of that bedroom on Fleetwood Drive forward in ways no medical discharge papers can address. Survival is not the same as healing. And nobody who was in that room that night walked away without scars. 3 years. That is how long this family waited for a courtroom. 3 years of a legal process grinding forward while a little girl named Zerencia grows up asking questions that have no good answers. What does justice even look like when it takes that long to arrive? The case reaches Hinds County, Mississippi. Hinds County District Attorney Jody E. Owens II leads the prosecution. By the time this trial begins, Zverian Brent is 32 years old, 3 years older than the night he kicked in that carport door. 3 years of sitting in Hinds County custody while the family he shattered tried to rebuild around the hole he created. The jury hears everything: the home invasion, the carport door, the rear bedroom, the shooting, Henry Perry's survival, and his return fire. The evidence collected from the 3,100 block of Fleetwood Drive, the prior record, the dismissed cases, the full picture of who Zverian Brent was before June 7th and what he did when he got to that house. The 11th of September, 2025. The jury returns its verdict. Guilty, second-degree murder. Guilty, aggravated assault.
Jackson man has been found guilty in the 2022 home invasion killing of his ex-girlfriend. Prosecutors say that 32-year-old Zverian Brent kicked in the door of Terrencia Jackson's Fleetwood Drive home and then opened fire, killing the 26-year-old and critically wounding her friend, Henry Perry. Perry was able to return fire and survive. A Hinds County jury convicted Brent of second-degree murder and aggravated assault. He faces up to 60 years in prison when he's sentenced September 30th.
Sentencing is set for the 30th of September, 2025 in Hinds County. The maximum he faces 40 years for the murder, 20 years for the assault, 60 years total. As of today, the confirmed sentence handed down on September 30th has not surfaced in any public report. Terrencia's family sat in that courtroom for 3 years. They got their guilty verdict. Whether the sentence that followed matched the weight of what was taken from them, that answer is still missing from the public record. The dark minds will be here the moment that changes. Terrencia Lamondria Jackson, born the 12th of May, 1996, taken the 7th of June, 2022. She was 26 years old. She left behind a daughter named Zerencia, 2 parents, 7 siblings, 2 grandmothers, a church that knew her by name, a workplace that expected her every morning, a best friend who called her a sister, a stepfather she loved to prank, a community in Jackson, Mississippi that felt the specific silence of her absence. She was the second of 8 children who never left the city that made her because everything she loved was already right there. She was the woman who walked into rooms and changed them just by showing up. She was Zerencia's mother, and she deserved to grow old. There are still open threads in this case. The sentencing outcome, the Vita Valentine case that vanished from public record, the 10-month gap between a dismissed firearms charge and a murder. Questions that a guilty verdict answers, and questions that a guilty verdict cannot touch. The Dark Minds covers all of it. Every update, every development. Every time this case moves, you will hear it here first. If this case moved, you leave a like. Share it. Let someone else know her name. Subscribe to The Dark Minds. Rest in peace, Terrencia Lamondria Jackson. Justice is still coming.